Imagine waking up to find smiling faces around you, but you don't recognize any of them. Imagine looking at yourself and not remembering the person you see. You read your name, but it feels unfamiliar. In this video, we're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease, covering all its stages, from early-onset Alzheimer's, which can begin at a young age, to late-stage Alzheimer's, which often comes with aging. At first, it feels like simple fatigue. You forget something small and tell yourself it's normal. A name is on the tip of your tongue, but you can't recall it. An appointment slips your mind. A sentence trails off halfway. But over time, the details start to fade, and they don't come back. You find yourself standing somewhere and can't remember why you went there. You see a familiar face, but can't recall the name. You begin to double-check things you used to do automatically. This is when the disconnection begins, not from the world, but from yourself. Now let's talk about early-onset Alzheimer's. Not everyone who forgets something has Alzheimer's, but sometimes the disease starts earlier than anyone expects, in the 40s, or even in the late 30s. The symptoms are mild at first, forgetting appointments, repeating questions, struggling with simple decisions. Sometimes it doesn't even begin with memory loss. It starts with mood changes, irritability, withdrawal from others, or a lack of motivation. Studies show that early-onset Alzheimer's is often linked to genetic factors, especially if there is a family history of the disease. Unfortunately, it is often diagnosed late, as it's commonly mistaken for stress or depression. So what exactly happens in the brain? Alzheimer's is caused by the buildup of abnormal proteins, mainly beta-amyloid and tau. Beta-amyloid accumulates between nerve cells, while tau builds up inside them and destroys their structure. These proteins interfere with communication between neurons, and over time, the brain cells begin to deteriorate. The first region affected is the hippocampus, which is responsible for forming new memories. As the disease progresses, the damage spreads to other parts of the brain involved in language, thinking, movement, and even behavior. Everyday tasks become a real challenge. In late-stage Alzheimer's, the brain begins to slowly deteriorate. Neurons in the areas responsible for learning and memory gradually die. Over time, the damage extends to wider regions, like the frontal lobe, which is responsible for decision-making, and the temporal lobe, which is involved in understanding and language. Neurotransmission becomes weaker, especially the chemical acetylcholine, which plays a key role in focus and connecting ideas. That's why patients lose the ability to organize and sequence thoughts. They forget new events and begin to remember the past as if it were their present reality. These changes make late-stage Alzheimer's strongly associated with the loss of daily functioning, not just memory, but also eating, dressing, movement, and logical reasoning. At this stage, memory loss doesn't happen suddenly. There is a whole phase in which the patient is aware of what's happening. They see themselves changing, feel the weakness, but don't have the tools to stop it. They try to hide the symptoms, laugh instead of answering, change the subject when they forget. But every action is a reminder that something inside them is slipping away. Studies confirm that this phase generates anxiety and depression, not just because of the disease itself, but because of the awareness of it. Alzheimer's doesn't only take memories. It takes away a person's sense of security, confidence, and control. The patient may feel like a stranger to the place they live, to the people they know, even to themselves. Everyday details become a burden. Talking requires effort. Leaving the house demands courage. And every moment of clarity becomes more painful than the forgetting itself. And here we come to the end of the video. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching. Stay amazing just the way you are. See you next time.